Hello there, and welcome to Daniel's Infinite Playlist, and welcome to the classic album reviews section, where we basically talk about albums that have been released in the past. And today we're going to talk about Swedish artist Alina Devecerski's debut album Maraton, which is also her only album as well. I'm sorry if I pronounce the name wrong as well. Anyways, for those of you who don't know who Alina Devecerski is, well, she's a great electropop artist from Sweden that had a huge hit called Flytta på dig, which means move it in Swedish. Anyways, that hit garnered so much attention from the music press. A debut album soon followed with great producers, and also I think one of the songs is actually co-written with a band member from Kent, and that is really cool. But the whole album is mainly Alina Devecerski, and that's what makes it so amazing. And she garnered great reviews from the music press, detailing the rise of a new type of artist, namely the Swedish speaking artists. I mean, mostly artists from this point. I mean, this album is released in 2012, so the whole concept of Swedish artists singing pop, electro pop in Swedish was quite a new thing. And artists like, for example, Little Jinder or let's say Lawrence hadn't even come up with their debut albums yet. But you know, the Swedish speaking artist was on the rise, and I think that's what also made Alina Devecerski's music also so appealing to the Swedish people. Anyways, how is it to listen to this album? Well, it's a bit like this. Alright, I'm going to show you the CD unboxing right now. There are not so many, how do you say, CD versions available. I think a few of them were made only for promotional use. I actually bought this one. It was quite expensive from a Danish CD seller who had it. And you see here, it has like the marking of the number. Anyways, here's the album cover, and there you see the artist herself, Alina Devecerski, and there you see Marathon. And I think Marathon, sorry, it actually quite expresses, you know, like the music a lot. It's very, how do you say, murky, but at the same time, very dancey, very eclectic, and very, very electronic. I really love it. And then you see like the track list, which is in Swedish, and also here you see for promotional use only, not for sale. Anyways, here you see like some shots of the artist. It's very cool. And then you see, you know, like the album, how do you say, credits and all of that. It's a very simple, how do you say, album, but it's also like a promo CD or something. And as I said, there are not so many copies of this. I think you'd have to really search on Discogs if you want a copy. So yeah, how is it? How is this album musically? Well, musically, this album is very much an electro-pop album through and through. It uses gnashing guitars paired with some really tasteful, clubby, really, you know, like very poppy but club-sounding beats in the foreground, and then there's Alina's own voice paired on the foreground with the lyrics. The music could be compared, I think like the closest comparison that I can make is to Charlie XCX debut album True Romance, which actually came a year later in 2013. And I think they're quite, how do you say, they're very musically the same. Or well, I wouldn't say Charlie XCX now is the same, but you know, like back then how it was. And the sound is, you know, like very, it uses like these subgenres, like I said on the True Romance review, like some industrial sounds, cold wave, although this album is more on the clubby side of stuff, but doesn't really shy away from, you know, like using guitars or like more heavier sounding instruments. And that's especially known for the song, the hit song "Flytta på dig," which is, yeah, I mean, it's a club hit, and it's also very aching to the song, to Icona Pop's "I Love It," and you can actually, how do you say, you can actually still play this song right now in 2019, and people will still dance to it, and they will still, like, they know all the lyrics, and that's because it was a huge hit when it came out. And I think it's still like one of the hits that actually made 2012, and so many people remember it fondly. So yeah, how is this album lyrically? Well, lyrically, this album is very much it feels almost kind of like a teenage diary sort of things, because of the feelings are often, like very, how to say, they're very melodramatic, but they never feel like disingenuous. They feel like they really come straight from Alina's own experiences with life and her own emotions, like surrounding, for example, love on the song Vem tog dig hem, which means who took you home, which is also, according to her, one of the only love songs in the album. And the album has 10 tracks, and there's just one intro, which is 1 minute long. And the, how do you say, and the overall theme I'd see is the inner demons that one has. For example, like in the song Flytta på dig, which means, how do you say, which is a song about inner restraint as well, and about fighting your own inner demons, which is actually quite a, how to say, quite a dark theme for a pop song and for a pop album overall. I mean, the songs are very, like party ready songs, but at the same time they deal with, like all of these darker, more psychological themes, and they're paired with Alina's own, how do you say, very youthful lyrics, but they're at the same time just very, how do you say, recognizable. I mean, we've all been there, and it just feels so amazing. And just like how the album itself is titled Maraton, it certainly feels like a marathon from start to end. There's never a dull moment in the album. So yeah, what do I give this album? Well, I give it a 10 out of 10. This is a great pop album, and it actually shows, like the rising, a star on the way to doing something even bigger. And there's not a bad song, and just like I said, it's called Marathon, and it just feels like a fun, joyous pop ride from start to finish. I think it's even better than Charlie XCX's debut album True Romance. True Romance is an amazing debut album, but it has some duds, and this album doesn't have any duds. Like, all the songs are, you can learn the lyrics and, like, sing about them, and, just feel how such an amazing album this is. And it's not very long either. I think it's about 30 minutes or something like that, so you're gonna have to do some repeat listens. And for those of you who don't know Swedish, I recommend you to really listen to this album. Doesn't matter if the language is different, you're still gonna get the emotions, and like the beats are just so amazing, and like it's very much how I would like a pop album to sound like. And for those of you who want to know about Alina's whereabouts after, like the release of this album, she actually disappeared kinda, but just when I was actually asking, like, where did she go? Then I got to know that she actually released a new song this year. However, she has taken a whole different path. I think it's more akin to Maya's music. It's more urban in that sense of way. So I'm excited to see what comes with that. But I really, really love this one. It's a perfect debut album, and you should really, really listen to it. It shows so much promise. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this review. As always, I'm going to put the artist links down below. Alina Devecerski is available everywhere, online, streaming, you name it. However, physical versions, I don't know if there's a vinyl. I don't think there is. The CD is a hard find, but I think there are some copies left. Just going around in the net. I think there are a few on Discogs if you want to snag one for yourself. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this review, and I'm always going to put new album reviews every Wednesday and classic album reviews every Saturday. So yeah, and if you'd like, please give a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it if you'd want to keep on going with this musical ride. Anyways, that's it for me. Enjoy music, enjoy life, people. Vi ses. Hej då!